It's true, my name is Arch Lewis, and it's true I was asked to come out today and talk about the financial status of the West Bloomfield schools. I have to confess, though, did you know that I make a lot less money than Bill Gates? Did you know that I make a lot less money than Barack Obama? I make about a quarter of what he makes. In fact, did you know that I make about half or less of what the Wayne Westland superintendent makes? I read that in the paper yesterday. So on that basis, since I'm not paid very much, I should feel sorry for myself and what I have to say isn't worth much. I know that because I saw a presentation from your school board that said, did you know that people at school districts around you get more state aid than they do? And I guess the theory was that if they get more state aid, you guys should make less money. Because I always know that the way that you grow a business or successful is to make sure that if you're a small business, pay people as little as possible, because that way you'll definitely grow because you'll get the cream of the crop. I know that because I looked at that presentation. So anyway, my presentation is slightly different. I do want to talk about acknowledging where I am. I am in Michigan. And I know that Michigan has become the poster child for a weak economy. I know that because every time I listen to CNN or whatever, every time they say, well, for instance, in Michigan, the economy, So I know that that's a perception of this state. And why do I say that? Well, the point here is we need to remember that because we hear all this talk all the time about the bad shape that the state is in, it colors the way we think about money, and it colors the way we think about school finance. I also know that we hear a lot about a school funding crisis, and we're having a hard time funding schools. And again, what do I know about that? It shapes the way we think about school funding. Well, if they're struggling to fund schools, we must be hurting because everybody else is hurting. And that ignores the fact, of course, that this year West Bloomfield is going to get more money than they got last year for people. But nonetheless, it colors the way we think about things. Declining enrollment. We hear about that all the time all over the state. In fact, 437 of the Michigan's 550 school districts are experiencing declining enrollment. And so we automatically say, oh my God, we're losing kids. And if we lose kids, what else do we lose? Money. So, we're in trouble. And that, again, colors our perception. Well, here's the reality. All that bad news does is simply leave us with a choice. And it leaves us with a simple choice. And that is, number one, we can decide to be the victim of all that news and use it to argue for your limitations. That apparently is the choice that the West Bloomfield administration and board have adopted, which is, oh my God, things are bad, let's not do anything. We better not do that. Well, that is a choice. However, if you look at this district as a business, and understand it is a business, this school district is one of the biggest businesses in the area. If you look at this school district like you look at any other business, there's another choice, and it's right here. How can we choose to take control of the district's financial future? What do we need to do to take control of the district's future? Now, it's probably pretty obvious that as a financial analyst, this is my bias. How do they take control of the dollars that they have to make sure that this district works? And so that's sort of how I've taken a look at the district's finances from this point. Here's the deal. It's real simple. I was asked to answer two questions. Is the West Bloomfield schools broke? And here's the question you really care about. Is it your fault? Are they struggling financially because you have taken an ever-increasing portion of their resources? Are they struggling financially because it's what they pay you and it's what they give you in benefits, and that's their problem? So that's really the question that I was asked to answer, because you may have heard it was your fault. You may have heard we're broke, what are you going to do about it? And so that's the first question I'll answer. And along the ways, I'll answer some other ones. So let's take a look real quick. Before I do that, I want you to understand that when I analyze a school district as a business, I use certain assumptions about the way they operate as a business. I think it's important that I share with you what those assumptions are so that you have some idea, where to date myself, where I'm coming from in terms of how I look at the finances of the district. The first assumption I use is that the responsibility of everyone involved in deploying educational resources, whether it's the board, the administration, or us as a union, it's everyone's first responsibility to provide for the continuation of the business. And that's obviously pretty simple. We got to make sure that the district is here not just this year, but 10 years from now and 50 years from now. Because the reality is that you could end up bargaining the best contract in the entire county, but of course if the school is closed, it wouldn't mean much. And so that's the first responsibility we have. The second thing is, it's important to understand that the general fund is used to provide a full range of educational programs for students. That's the purpose of those general fund tax dollars, not something else. Did I make that up? No, that's by an auditor from Plant Moran, one of the largest auditing firms in the state, who talked about what the general fund tax dollars were to be used for. So let's keep that in mind as we look at the way the district spends money. Are they primarily using their general fund to educate kids, or are they using it for something else? The third thing is, I can't look at just 1 year in isolation. I could take a look at last year, and just from last year I can say, well, things are not really great in West Bloomfield. Oh my God. But the reality is, to get a full picture, I need to take a look at more than 1 year. I need to look at trends over 5 or 6 years. And so you're going to hear me today talk a lot about 5 and 6 year cycles, so we get an idea of how the district behaves financially over a longer period of time. The next thing is, and this is important, is that you cannot gauge the financial health of the school district using any single financial measure like fund balance or fund surplus. Did you ever notice how we obsess about that all the time? Oh my God, what's the fund balance? Oh my God, is it going to be this, or is it going to be that? Is it going to be positive? Is it going to be negative? And it's as if we have that one number, we can tell you everything you need to know about the financial health of this school district. That would be a little bit like me saying, okay, I want you all right now to take out a piece of paper, write down the amount of money that's in your checking account right now. Pass those papers up, and from that one number, have me tell you about your overall financial health. And of course, I couldn't do it, because what I know is it takes an accumulation of a lot of different measures. I need to know, okay, is there money coming in that account or going out? How many other accounts do you have? What other assets do you have? A house, a car, a boat, to get a complete picture. Well, it's no different with the school district. We need to take a lot of different measures of the school's financial health. So you hear me talk about the school in a lot of different ways today. The next thing is, it's simply not enough to make ends meet. And in this kind of environment economically, it's awfully tempting to say, oh my God, we made it through the year. Whew. But the reality is, that's not it. What's critical is not how much tax dollars we save, but how we use the tax dollars we use to deliver what? Maximum educational impact.